and that'll be after the news and Six Continents at 25 minutes past 1. Radio 3, it's 1 o'clock. 5 soldiers have been killed in an explosion in Northern Ireland. It happened in the so-called bandit country of South Armagh, about 3 miles from the border with the Republic. The men were in an army personnel carrier which was blown up under a railway bridge by what's believed to have been a landmine. As much as 1,000 pounds of explosives is thought to have been used. The army didn't immediately move into the area for fear of booby traps. The British Amateur Athletics Board announced this morning that the United Kingdom National Championship will go ahead this weekend at Antrim in Northern Ireland. Their decision contrasts with those of the English and Welsh Football Associations, who chose to cancel their international fixtures due to be held in Belfast this week. The man dismissed last night as Navy Minister, Mr. Keith Speed, has defended his speech at the weekend, which got him into trouble with the Prime Minister. In the speech, he spoke out against proposals to cut the Navy's budget over the next 10 years. In an interview on Radio 4 this morning, Mr. Speed said he challenged anyone within the Conservative Party, the government or the country to find anything in what he'd said that was not government policy. Mr. Speed is hoping to make a speech from the back benches and the Commons during the defence debate later today to explain his position. Doctors treating the Pope say he had a tranquil night and his temperature has returned almost to normal. The Pope has been fed intravenously since he was shot last Wednesday, but this morning he was able to have a cup of tea. The latest medical bulletin says he slept for 7 hours without sedatives. He is quoted as saying he feels better than on previous days, and one of the doctors said the Pope was a strong man and was recovering very quickly. Despite speculation that the Pope's visit to Britain next year may be called off, the Roman Catholic hierarchy in England and Wales are going ahead with their plans. The hierarchy have appointed 7 provincial coordinators who will liaise with other churches, police and local authorities. A spokesman said they would be working on the assumption that the Pope would be going ahead with his visit, but so far they'd had no confirmation from the Vatican. America's special Middle East envoy, Mr. Philip Habib, is in Syria, where he's expected to meet President Assad. Mr. Habib is trying to ease the crisis between Syria and Israel over the deployment of Syrian missiles in Lebanon. Our correspondent in Damascus says the Syrians are maintaining that the missiles are not the cause of the crisis, but a reaction to it. For Mr. Habib's mission to succeed, they say, he has to persuade the Israelis to stop interfering in Lebanon. Mr. Habib is expected to arrive in Jerusalem later today, where he'll see the Israeli Prime Minister, Mr. Begin. Newspapers in Jerusalem this morning were saying Mr. Habib's efforts to find a peaceful solution to the crisis are again at a crucial stage. Meanwhile, a spokesman for the United Nations peacekeeping force in southern Lebanon has said that the force will resist if Israel tries to invade. However, the UN office in Jerusalem say they find the statement astonishing. They say such a decision would have to be taken by the Security Council and not by the peacekeeping force. An explosion in Iran is reported to have badly damaged 6 oil and gas pipelines in the southeastern province of Khuzestan. It's believed the blast was caused by a time bomb. 4 pipeline workers were taken to hospital after the explosion, which occurred just before midnight. The Romanian president, Mr. Nicolae Ceausescu, has arrived in Czechoslovakia for his first official visit since the Russian invasion in 1968. The Communist Party newspaper in Prague says his visit will include talks on political cooperation between the two countries and on international affairs. In the Yorkshire Ripper trial at the Old Bailey, a consultant psychiatrist has said he's still satisfied that Peter Sutcliffe is a paranoid schizophrenic. But Dr. Terence Kay said he would have expected more deterioration in Sutcliffe's condition over the 6 years of his illness, and he confirmed that there had been a sexual motive behind some of the killings. Dr. Kay agreed to a suggestion from the Attorney General, Sir Michael Havers, that if Sutcliffe was a cold-blooded killer with an enormous desire to kill women, he would be bad rather than mad. Sir Michael said it was significant that Sutcliffe had given different stories to the police and to the doctors. He told his solicitor he knew he was mentally ill and in need of treatment, but from the witness box he'd said there was nothing wrong with him. The civil servants' pay dispute has again disrupted air traffic. This time a strike by air traffic controllers at Prestwick this morning has caused all flights between Scotland and North America to be cancelled. However, at the Prestwick Centre controlling domestic flights, a quarter of the staff did turn up for work, and the airlines say they're providing a limited service. In the city, the latest Financial Times share index is down 3.5 at 558.8. And the weather